Are you recording?
We started. We're live.
Oh, well then I'll try this one too.
Okay.
Dude.
Huh?
This is weird. I don't want to do this.
Might I remind you this was your idea?
It was like a, hey, maybe we should try this because that's what other podcasters are doing.
Everybody's doing this.
I don't like
Podcasting
change.
world.
Or why don't you say what we're doing while I finish my homework because I didn't do it yet.
Oh, I did mine.
I know. Because I was helping with this.
So everybody in Changing Perspectives land.
Wait, are we recording on this too?
No, not yet.
Oh, well, can you start?
Okay.
Oh, all right. Okay, I guess we'll just do it again for the actual recording. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a peek into the behind the fourth wall, and we are going live, recording live on streaming, Facebook and Instagram. So I think
This is a beta test
this is a beta test.
to see what this is like.
And we have, I'm looking at the feed right now on Facebook.
Can you focus on what we need to do?
Yeah.
Okay, we do have a timeline.
What do you want to do?
Can we record our episode?
Yeah, I just want to make
Now
sure.
you have more stuff that you're distracted by.
Well, I want to make sure that I catch everybody that's commenting.
That's not gonna happen.
We can try.
No.
No?
Not on this one. Oh, I might be able to if I sign in on this phone too.
Okay.
Maybe. But you have enough to look at and be distracted about.
You
I
ready to
often feel
record?
like I'm by myself.
Okay, here we go. Welcome to the live recording of Changing Perspectives, everybody. I'm going to hit record and you guys can hear the intro. You ready? Hi, and welcome to the Changing Perspectives podcast, the show where we discuss a variety of topics, including grief, parenting, pop culture, and relationships. Join us and explore a number of changing perspectives. We're your hosts, Jenny and Josh Brennan. Hi, everybody, and hi, Jenny.
Hi again.
Hi again. Do you want to explain to our listening audience why you just said hi again?
Well, because the other night I had this fleeting idea of, hey, because I took a course, a free course, to sort of, I don't know, get unstuck. It was one of those things that pops up and it's like, hey, do you want to take this free course? And I was like, sure. I've been offered this by like the same woman for a year and a half. So I finally took it about like online course development. And it came at the same time that an article was published with a new sort of, not new, but new to me, platform that I'm collaborating with. And so I thought, well, what's the next step for podcasting? A lot of people aren't really kind of driving to work anymore and listening to podcasts the same way. So a lot of podcasters have gone online and they're video recording their podcast. So I said we should record our podcast in video form to put on YouTube. And then I think you said, well, we should just Facebook Live it or Instagram Live it. Why are you looking at it?
Well, I'm looking at the Instagram feed right now, which is pretty good. The angle's pretty good.
Very distracting. I am extremely distracted right now. So for people who are listening to the recording, there are 2 cameras and 3 lights, and you're seated in a different place.
I know.
And we have Instacart is shopping our groceries right now, and Target is shopping our other groceries because we're still not really going to stores. So I'm very overwhelmed.
Yeah.
But anyways, I said this might be a good idea, and you said, yeah, let's do Facebook and Instagram Live, and then boom, now we have all this other equipment, and we're giving it a try to see where it goes. And we have different followers on Facebook and Instagram. Some of you kind of cross-follow, but some of you are different, so we couldn't choose one group over the other.
Yeah, so we're streaming on both.
We'll see how this goes. This is a beta test, then we'll sort of listen to the feedback, the sort of playback and see how that is and see how that goes with recording.
If this actual recording will come out a week or so after we are streaming this. So this is sort of a sneak peek if you're watching this live or you check out the video. But for your Instagram followers right now, by the way, it's Changing Perspectives. Disney Bird Studios, we're not streaming on that, but Changing Perspectives account is what you will find the streaming options on. And Instagram, I just want to point out that the Instagram feed has a nice shot of the studio and our artwork and the Changing Perspectives logo and whatnot. It looks pretty good.
Does the Facebook one does not. The Facebook one has this holdover from when our youngest had this as his room. and it's a little closet organizer filled with ties, multiplication cards.
Yeah, I don't know what's over there.
Stuffed animals, pictures,
So.
a wallet. Do you think that glasses that are actually never worn right now?
Yeah.
And a Duffy bear.
Well, it's kind of cool, Duffy. Oh, and Mickey, Sorcerer Mickey. What's interesting is that we're actually a little bit ahead in recordings. Normally, this would come out sooner to the stream, but we're a couple weeks ahead, which is great. So
Getting back on top of things.
hope
here.
everybody liked the last episode. It was a BuzzFeed quiz. It was a lot of fun. Ended up being not a pint size, and what? Actually, as of the stream, that episode hasn't even come out yet. But now, this is weird. It's like time traveling.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Anyway, so Jenny, what are we talking about today? This is the relationship episode. We haven't done one of these in a little bit. We did a quarantine-related relationship dating episode, like how to date at home and how to maintain your relationship in quarantine. I think that was our last relationship focused episode. But today we're going to be talking about, Jenny and I took a quiz, a test, I don't know, assessment.
I'm still sort of taking it right
Jenny's
now.
taking it in real time. Talk about last minute.
Mm-hmm. I found it and
You
sent
did
it to
find
you
it.
and printed it.
You did find it. I just took it before we hit record on all the devices. But we're going to be identifying your communication style. That's the goal for today, to identify your communication style in order to improve problematic relationships. And this is from a resource called Between Sessions Resources. Excuse me. Can you give a little background as to what that is?
No.
No, you just found it.
It's actually a great resource. So for any clinicians out there, or just anyone, I think a lot of these can be used for yourself. They have a paid service that you can use, which I don't use, but I'm on their email list, and every week, maybe every other week, they send like 1 or 2 or sometimes 3 of these sort of worksheets or quizzes or sort of self-evaluations to look over, and so they're all different kinds of areas. So I always save them and sort of compile them in my list of resources. So they're great. Between sessions, I'll put the link, or I'll have you put the link in our show notes.
I have a copy of the link ready for the assessment we took today.
Okay.
That'll go in the show notes, and then folks can find other resources.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah, so it's not really designed as like a couples thing, but when it came through my inbox last week, I thought this could be an interesting thing to do for couples. See, this is really distracting for me.
What's distracting?
Because you are now looking at the computer even more, not
No,
looking at me.
I just dropped the link to the
Oh, that's
article.
clever. Okay. I think we might need our associate producer to actually sit in here and do some of this stuff now.
That actually would be great.
Or the dogs. We didn't mention that Evie and Norma Jean are in
They're
here with us.
here.
Are they on the feed?
I don't know if they are
I think
or not.
Evie is. What was I saying?
See,
So,
the link is now in the comments.
look at that. That's
Yeah.
cool. Okay. Beta testing. We're learning as we're going.
Yes.
So not really designed to be used with couples. It's more to sort of evaluate your own communication style. So are you more a passive communicator, aggressive communicator, passive-aggressive communicator, or assertive communicator? So it's a tool to help you kind of understand your own communication and where you might be getting into some trouble over that. But I think we could adapt this to
Sure.
be, or my thoughts are, that we each take this and then we can talk about it, to sort of talk about like my understanding of my communication style within our relationship and your understanding of your communication style within our relationship. I don't know.
it's similar.
So we're also beta testing this.
Yeah. Well, it's similar. It reminds me a little bit of I think we've talked about this before. Have you taken Myers-Briggs before?
A long time. I think in my undergraduate. I think it's been that long.
It's an older assessment, I guess it's not really personality, but it's basically how you work.
No, I think it is.
Yeah, but it's used a lot in professional settings, educational settings. It's a Myers-Briggs, and there's 4 different elements to like your personality. One of them is how you communicate. I know my organization, we all took the Myers-Briggs a while ago, and we also do some other assessment. Strengths-based. Have you heard of the Strengths Finder? Yes.
Well, I'm a social worker, so everything is strengths-based, but
But that assessment, the Strengths Finder.
no.
That's a similar thing to Myers-Briggs, but there's even more elements, different ways to sort of evaluate how you function in the workplace. But a lot of that, excuse me,
Some water.
this frog, I know, I'm drinking my black coffee. A lot of that is regarding your communication style. So this kind of, when I was going through this, it reminded me of Myers-Briggs, or the StrengthsFinder assessment. But let's go through these 4 basic communication styles real quick. I think that's probably a good way to start. And I can just read what's here on the assessment, and you can make a comment
Sounds
as
good.
you see fit. Okay? All right. So identifying your communication style, the 4 basic styles. Passive communication. So passive communication prioritizes the needs, wants, and feelings of others, even at your own expense. Your communication tends to be inadequate and ineffective, and you do not appear to be confident or self-assured. Other people may take advantage of you because you do not stand up for yourself. So that's passive communication. No sneak previews as to what you think you are. Okay. I won't say anything either.
Okay.
Okay, the next is aggressive communication. So aggressive communication occurs when only your needs, wants, and feelings matter. You typically ignore other people's needs. You might use bullying or a loud, overbearing manner. Criticism, humiliation, disrespectful language, and/or domination with frequent interruptions are tools designed to control conversations. It's pretty intense. All right, so that was the second type. The third type is passive aggressiveness communication. So, and in the most obvious statement ever, it sounds like it's a combination of the first 2. But this is a tendency to engage in indirect expressions of hostility through subtle insults, sullen behavior, and stubbornness. Sarcasm is often used as a way of masking your true feelings and opinions. You might use the silent treatment to try and make people feel guilty in order to get what you want. Yeah, I will reserve my comments. I will come back to that. I don't want to.
I think that's a passive aggressive way to say that you think I'm passive aggressive.
Oh no.
Oh, okay.
I think I am that.
Oh, okay.
100%.
Okay, all right.
Anyway.
Okay.
More to come. And the last of the 4 communication styles is assertive communication. Assertive communication is the ability to express your opinions in an open, honest, and direct way. You take responsibility for yourself without judging or blaming other people. You express your ideas in a respectful manner without being too aggressive or too passive. You use positive and courteous language. Research indicates that communicating in an assertive manner reduces stress, depression, and anxiety, and improves your self-esteem. That's it.
Okay.
That's the 4.
So then the quiz tool, what are they even calling this?
I call it an assessment. It's not really a quiz.
It doesn't really say.
It wasn't as fun as our BuzzFeed quizzes last week.
It just says mark the answers.
Or Monday.
So then the format is just, there's probably, I don't know, maybe 25 to 30 statements, and you just check off which ones apply to you.
Okay.
And then at the end, the statements are broken up into 4 different categories. No surprises here, aligned with each of the 4 communication styles,
Right.
and then whichever one you have the most in is sort of your most commonly used communication style. Okay, so how do you want to do this? Do you want to go through each one?
Yeah.
And then say if you
Because
checked it or I didn't?
Yeah,
Or
well,
whatever.
as with most of the quizzes we take, either on the air or before, I have comments, and some of these I wanted to check, but I didn't want to check, and some of them I don't know.
Did you turn the air up?
I did. Why?
The intake is right here next to me, so
Is it cold?
I'm cold. This is what I do during sessions. For anyone who wonders what I do during a session, if it gets too cold, I just throw something over the vent.
Well,
Probably really bad.
You always turn it down.
I know.
The AC, and I a couple minutes later, maybe 10 minutes later, I say, "Did you turn the air down?" Because I start to get hot. And I ran this morning, so I'm still kind of like overheated.
And you're drinking coffee, not water.
Well, I drink coffee.
That was my passive-aggressive way to say, I think you should hydrate better.
I should.
Okay, let's go through.
I should pound some water after.
Sorry, I
this
got distracted.
recording.
So much distraction.
Okay. What are we doing? What's
So,
next? Oh, let's
the
go
first
through
one
each of these.
Is,
Oh, wait a minute. Sorry, I distracted myself. I wanted to say I some of these I wanted to check like half on, like I half agreed, and sometimes. So again, I was annoying when I filled this out, but I think I can go. We'll go through and I'll tell you which ones that I had trouble checking off.
Okay. Seems like you're also having trouble talking. But, okay. All right. So, want me to take section A?
Go ahead.
I'll read them all. All right. So the first one was, I allow others to deliberately or inadvertently infringe on my rights. And so I guess when we're thinking about this in terms of relationship,
Mm-hmm.
I read these things as like, I allow my partner instead of others. I allow my partner to deliberately or inadvertently infringe on my own rights.
I definitely didn't just do that.
Okay, so that's fine. We didn't clarify the rules here. That's how I did it, because as I went through the first time kind of reading them all, I realized my answer is different for who I'm.
Oh, for sure.
Like, is it work me? Is it me with close friends? Is it me with like acquaintances? Is it me with strangers? Is it me with you? So I sort of did my answer based on just in this relationship.
Okay.
So that's just it. So I did not check that one.
Okay. I didn't check that one either.
Okay.
But I didn't just fill this out communicating with you.
I know. I got that.
Okay.
Okay. I have a hard time expressing my feelings, needs, or opinions.
I checked that one.
For this is so in general.
In general, again.
Is it different for
Yeah.
in our relationship?
Totally.
So as we're going through, can you make a modification if there's something that is different for our relationship versus others?
Sure. Do you have another pen over there?
No,
Ooh,
'cause
there's one in there, I think.
No, there's not.
Behind Jackson.
Oh, Jackson's not actually on our desk. It's
That's
just
a
a
picture
photo
of
of him.
Jackson.
That's a pencil. Or there's a marker.
Oh, I'll take the marker because I don't know if this pencil works. There you go. Take the pencil.
I brought my other pen out to the other room.
All right, so I will make a note if they also apply to you, but that doesn't.
Okay. But you did mark that.
I did mark that.
So
Yeah.
we talked about that. Can I?
Yeah.
I'll out you a little
Go
bit
ahead.
here. We
Out
talked
me.
about that the other day. About how Instacart has an order change for us. About how you are different sometimes in different groups of people.
Mm-hmm.
And afterwards, I think I was reflecting on that. Like, why weren't you yourself then? And we talked about how sometimes it is difficult for you to express your feelings, needs, and opinions.
And I don't know why.
Well,
I think that's a whole other episode.
are you afraid of being?
I don't know. I mean, it's something that
Did we mean to buy 2 things of giant strawberries?
I didn't change that. I saw that.
Oh,
I saw that you put.
okay. We're
Just
eating
get rid of it.
strawberries. Okay,
Let's focus, Jenny.
trying.
All right. I don't know why that is. I definitely change how I interact, obviously, professionally, personally, but I also, even within different friend groups or friend relationships, I'm definitely different, and I don't know what that is.
What would happen if you tried to not be so different?
I'm going to. It's something that I've recognized, and I've been thinking about it a lot, and I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to express my feelings, needs, and opinions a little more easily.
I think that today we are seeing some friends in a socially distanced backyard setting.
Yes.
You should try to give yourself permission to maybe not hold back, right? Like if there's something that you would want to share, but you find yourself being like, oh, I don't want to be judged or whatever,
Right.
maybe lean into that a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Okay, so you didn't check that for our relationship,
For you.
though.
I checked it for everybody else.
Okay. I tend to speak softly or apologetically. I did not check that.
I did not check that.
Okay. I have trouble making eye contact. I did not check that.
I checked that, but not for you.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. But I have been trying to employ a technique I learned a few years ago about looking at someone's nose when you're talking to them.
Did you learn that a few years ago, or did you learn that we watched when we binged The Americans
No,
last
I learned
month?
it a few years ago.
Oh, but that was in there, right?
That was in
Okay.
that was in The Americans. Good show, by the way. Watch The Americans, everybody.
It's also a tip to pass a lie detector test.
Huh?
That was a tip in The Americans to pass
Oh,
a
to
lie
pass
detector.
the lie detector
Mhm.
test, right?
Okay, so you're trying to use that, but we make eye contact.
Yeah.
Okay. Except when you're falling asleep
So
on me,
I
then there's no eye contact.
yeah. Well, I have trouble making eye contact because, well, Yes, but I have a way to handle it. So like it's not a hindrance to me because I figured out a way to stare at the nose. And
which is sort of the point of something like this is to bring awareness, right? To help you be more self-aware, like, oh, I don't make eye contact. You already had that awareness, but for some people taking this, they might learn that awareness by taking this.
Yeah.
Okay. I often feel anxious because life seems out of control. Whoa, sort of jumped deep there.
I know, right?
I did not check that. Even though right now it feels out of
I
control.
know, it does. There's so much going on.
Yes, but fortunately the dogs are passed out, so that is
Don't jinx
good.
that.
I feel stuck and hopeless. I did
No,
not check that.
I did not check that.
My needs are not being met.
I did not check that. Yeah, either.
Uh-oh. What did you just
I
do?
lost the audio.
Oh, great. Now
Sorry.
you're back. Okay.
We're back.
Other people never seem to consider my feelings.
So I did check that.
Oh.
Yeah, but I didn't. That's not for you though.
Who's it for?
Everybody else.
Nobody else? Whoa. That's
What
deep.
do you mean? I don't know. Well, if I have a hard time expressing my feelings, then why would anybody? They're connected.
But
Right?
that's on you.
What?
Right? Like if other people never seem to consider your feelings, but you're not
Oh, it's
actually
totally-
showing
this
them your
is-
real feelings,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
not giving them a chance to consider your real feelings.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I think those two are connected.
Okay, so that group was if most of your check marks, which it sounds like for neither of us, were in that group that I just read through, then your, I guess, preferred, or maybe not preferred, but your most often used style of communication is a passive communication style. So
Well,
you
that's-
prioritize the needs, wants, and feelings of others,
Well,
even at
that's-
your own expense.
Well, we don't know yet.
Oh,
There's
sorry.
a whole other section.
I did just take a leap there, but you had like one or two checked, right?
I had 3.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
sorry.
Hold on, I have to like a comment on our live stream.
No, that means people are watching.
People
Please-
are watching.
Please shut it off.
No, I have to like it, and I'll do a little smiley face.
But this is distracting. Who is it?
It's a friend of ours.
Oh, hi, friend. I can't see who it is, so hi, friend.
We can say her first name, not her last name, probably.
Okay.
We can say hi, Chrissy.
Oh, hi, Chrissy. And maybe the rest of your family. I'm so not comfortable with this. Okay.
Okay.
Next time
so
we need to have a mimosa while I do
am
this.
I? Well, last time we recorded, Did you have margarita?
I did. You made me a good margarita.
We're recording in the morning, everybody, so it's not really margarita time. But it is 5 o'clock somewhere, right?
I mean, it's 11:30.
Yeah.
Okay.
So section B. Want me to take this one?
Yeah.
Okay. I tend to dominate conversations. Did you check that one?
I did.
You did.
Mhm.
Why do you feel like that? Were you like that lady last night at the restaurant?
She was the worst.
Everybody.
Outdoors. We went outdoors to a restaurant.
We talked about this last time. We haven't been inside yet at a restaurant.
Technically, yes, but we sat
Not
by a
really.
giant window.
It's not really a window. It's a wall. The wall disappears,
Yeah,
and it's
that's
like
true.
it's suddenly you're outside. I mean, the restaurant's called the patio. Yeah.
Mhm.
Anyway.
Okay.
So we were still outside, but last night we went to a restaurant outside, and there was somebody that definitely dominates the conversation.
So it was really interesting watching her two friends be on their phone and just let her prattle on and on and on. Anyways, I did check that because I feel like with us, I do. And I feel like if you listen to the podcast, I do with us.
No, I don't feel like that way at all.
Oh, all right, I feel that way. But I don't
Let's
feel
see.
that way with
Good give
like
and take
other
with you and I.
situations.
You don't feel that way with others?
Mm-mm.
Okay. See, that's why I'm confused. Okay.
What? What do you mean?
Like you took 2 quizzes.
I did.
It's fine. I'm taking the second quiz in,
In real time.
In real time
So
here.
did you check that one or no?
No, I did not.
Okay. Oh, sorry, you're taking this one. See, I tend to dominate conversations.
I'm usually right. That's the second one in section B. And I checked yes.
I did too. And I put a little smiley face. I feel like we both think we're
Yeah.
usually right.
That's fine.
Okay.
I guess that does, I feel that way with you too. That's the first one I've checked for you though.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
I don't know what that means. Let's see.
the next one is, it's usually someone else's fault if things go wrong.
Oh, I did not check that
I
one.
did not check that one either.
It's probably my fault.
It's usually someone else's, nope, I already read that one. I tend to explode or blow up during conversations because other people frustrate me.
I checked that one.
You do. Blow up? I don't think that's you.
Should we get the boys in here? They would probably disagree.
No, parenting is different. parenting communication style, I think, is different. I don't know.
I guess when I was going through this, I was thinking about my relationship. I guess not with just you, but with like in our family of four. No, I for sure do. Like if I get sort of to a place where I'm really frustrated, I will yell, or blow up. Not like I'm punching people or things like that, but I feel like I blow up. I get to that point.
Okay.
Did you check that?
No, I did not.
I think maybe you should have.
Really?
I don't know. Would like slamming cabinets count as blowing up?
So let's go back a little bit. I mean, I guess I do that, but I don't. I feel like I'm passive aggressive.
This is the passive aggressive section, I think.
Oh,
no, it's not. It's aggressive.
It's
You're
the
right.
aggressive section.
Okay.
Okay, next. I prefer to dominate others and be the boss. I did not check that.
I did not check that.
No.
Is that okay that I didn't check that?
Of course it is.
Okay.
People owe me, and I let them know it.
I didn't check that, and I hope that's true.
I did not check that.
Okay.
No. And the last one in section B, which is the aggressiveness section, people seem angry or resentful after talking to me.
Unless you're my teenager and I've told you no, I don't think that's true.
I did not check that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's true. I don't think that's true for really any of these for you towards me.
No, and I agree.
Except that we both think we're usually
we
right.
both think we're right, but that usually leads to pretty good conversation, though.
I was going to say that. I think that, but then we're able to be reflective about that and explore that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so section C. So I guess this would be the passive aggressive part. So you like my mic up like this, and then I can't read. Okay.
That's okay. Your audio is pretty good.
Okay. I avoid confrontation at all costs. Oh, I think I might have stopped doing it. I might have skipped this section.
What?
What
do you mean you skipped it?
Because I didn't check anything in this section, and
So
I don't know if it's
you
true.
can check it in real time.
Okay. Not with you.
Uh.
So I don't avoid confrontation at all costs with you, but I think in some situations I do. It's just not worth it. So that's
But
not really
that's
at
not
all
at
costs.
all costs,
Okay.
though. Yeah, I went through that as well.
Okay.
So I didn't check it.
It's difficult for me to admit that I'm angry. I did not check that one because I feel like I can do that.
I did check it.
Tell me more.
I guess it's the same as having a hard time expressing my feelings, needs, or opinions. It's difficult for me to admit it in addition to expressing it in a healthy way, I would say.
That makes sense. I guess in some situations, with some people, it's difficult for me to admit that. But I think that's sort of a relationship by relationship basis, not necessarily like my communication style.
Right.
I will act as if I'm happy even though I'm furious. Well, I think in life sometimes you have to, but I did not check that one.
I checked it.
But now I'm thinking, like, do I sometimes? I guess that's like saying like, no, I'm fine, right?
Right. So I need to back up a little bit. I guess with us, it is difficult for me to admit I'm angry sometimes. So I'll leave that checked from
Okay.
you. I will act as if I'm happy even though I'm furious. That is not how that doesn't matter. That's not applicable to us.
Okay.
That's only, I checked it, but outside of us, everybody else.
Wow.
Well,
I don't know. I guess I didn't realize that about you. So if you're furious, you'll act happy.
not all, I mean, I don't know.
I think it's pretty easy for people to know when you're furious.
So when I read the passive aggressive description, in this sentence, you might use the quote silent treatment to try to make people feel guilty in order to get what you want. Sometimes I do that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So it's not really I will
I
act
do
as
too.
if I'm
I think we
happy.
both do that.
Yeah. It's not as if I will act as if I'm happy. So there's a caveat. I'll act if I
You just I put my phone on Do Not Disturb.
Oh,
Probably
I
should
do
have
that.
Probably should put
I
yours
gotta
on
do
Do
that.
Not Disturb.
Hopefully that wasn't enough to have to pay for that song.
But beta testing, we will find out.
John Williams, don't sue me.
Oh, you're reading this one.
Everybody knows now my ringtone is Star Wars. That's funny. Chrissy left the feed, but she would have liked that. Okay. Where are we? Next.
Am I reading this one? I think I'm reading this one.
You're
Right?
reading this one.
People tell me I'm too sarcastic. I did not check this one.
I checked it.
Yeah, well, because I'm the people.
So, I checked it not because people tell me that. I checked it because I think I use sarcasm too much.
I think you do, and I think it's become an issue with. It becomes potentially an issue when you're parenting teenagers who maybe are a little more literal. And so, because there's been some instances, right, where like I've heard exchanges and I've sort of but we're all kind of sarcastic in this house, but it comes across not sarcastic, so
Right.
yeah.
You know what's interesting?
What?
Is Instagram Live is live. Facebook has a delay.
Interesting. Okay.
Anyway. All right.
Oh, right, I'm reading
You're
this.
next. Listen, stop derailing us.
Sorry.
You're reading this section.
I enjoy annoying other people when I'm angry with them. I did not check this.
That's like sadistic.
I know, that's right.
I did not check that one either.
Okay, good. I feel powerless when I deal with other people.
I did not check that.
I did not check that either. Okay, so you want to take section D?
Sure. Well, how many did you have in that one?
I had 0. Is that passive aggressive of me to say I had 0?
No,
I don't know.
that's exactly opposite of that. I had 3 in that section.
So I think that especially in this household, when you get upset, it comes across as passive aggressive.
Yeah.
Slamming cabinets, putting a wooden spoon down too hard, saying like, no, I'm fine. Like we had our quarantine other family over a few weeks ago and you were just in a grumpy mood and we all were like looking at each other like, what's his problem? And you're like, nope, I'm fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't remember what you're upset about.
Neither do I. Okay, you ready?
Because you didn't tell us.
Section D.
Okay.
This is for the assertive communication section. And the first one is, I clearly state my wants and needs in a respectful and appropriate way.
I did not check that one.
I did not check that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which would suggest that we both feel like we are not always respectful in our communication with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Correct?
Yeah, no, definitely.
Right, like the opposite of that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I use I statements and clearly express my feelings.
Oh, so even though you're reading this, I have to go first?
Yeah.
Okay. I did check this because I tried to.
Okay, that's good. I need to. I didn't check it, but
Okay.
I would like to do that. This is the section of the assessment where I would have liked to check more.
Okay.
Check more of these. Okay, next. I listen without interrupting.
I did not check this, and I wrote nope.
I didn't check it, but
Because you don't. You interrupt all the time.
but I'm cognizant of that, and I try to not do that, especially in professional situations.
So here's a challenge for you. Today, I want you to notice how many times I start telling a story and you interrupt and tell it the right way.
But what if you start telling it the wrong way? What if I have to correct
Sorry,
you?
the right way. This goes back to checking off the I am always right. I'm usually right.
What if I
right?
have to correct you though?
It's just, couldn't you just let me be wrong?
Maybe. I don't know if I
Okay.
can do that.
All right, I'm gonna bring like.
Because do you remember I'm always right?
Do you have your ball and strike counter from umping?
No.
Oh, I was gonna bring it and then just click off how many times you interrupt
That's
somebody.
funny. Would you click the strikes?
Well, is there a
3
limit to
times
how
and
high
I'm
they
out,
can?
I have to go home. You're out of here. Baseball came back yesterday.
If we weren't doing this like with a video, I would do the you're out. I would
Do
do
it.
like I'm an ump and
Do
you're
it.
out. No, I'm not gonna.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Looks like we got a good amount of people on Instagram watching.
So I can't see. It's like right next to me, but I am so blind I cannot see.
Hi everybody. I can't. It's
Hey
hard
everybody.
to see.
Told you. That's what you said.
I guess that is what you say. I can't really see from here, but I can see there's a good.
Hi.
amount.
Why are you playing with that?
What do you mean?
I hear it.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my goodness, we forgot to take his collar off.
Oh, Everett's awake. I don't know how that happened. Well,
because you jinxed us.
And I also think he realized that Nico is in here.
Okay.
Okay.
We're getting derailed.
It's going to get
here.
interesting here.
Okay. I maintain good eye contact most of the time.
Huh. That's like the complete opposite of
I did not check that.
another one. I checked it. I feel like I do.
You do? But did you check the other one?
What was I have trouble making eye contact
Yeah.
was the other one. So no, I didn't check
Oh,
that.
okay.
That's the opposite. Did you check the other one?
Yeah. Remember we
So-
talked about this.
and you
wasn't
didn't check
known,
this one?
blah, blah. I didn't check this one.
Okay.
But I guess you do. I mean, you kind of have to.
Oh, our children yell at me all the time. They're like, "Stop making eye contact with me. It's
Yeah.
weird."
I have no problem.
Then I just do it now.
making
More.
eye contact with you. I like your eyes, by the way.
Oh, thanks. I have 2 of them.
I have since 1994.
Oh, thank you.
But I have no problems looking at you, making eye contact. I do in other situations, but I try to do that, especially professionally. But let me ask you a question. Is that something that you had to develop or make sure you
Yeah.
could do it because of your work?
Yes, it's definitely part of my clinical training. So I don't remember what it was
Is it
like
really?
before that. Yeah. Yes,
Interesting.
for sure.
Go on.
Go on. That was actually not part. But before I went to social work school,
Mhm.
I was working with children with special needs, with communication issues, and so eye contact was also really important then.
Right.
So even before sort of clinical training, it was part of my training,
Okay.
which is really hard with virtual stuff because if I'm looking at the picture
So I was
of my
just about to
client
say.
on the screen, I'm not feeling like I'm making eye contact with them. So that's a
So-
hard thing to do.
I guess that's really something to think about in terms of what's going on in the world now and what the new reality is with remote and virtual meetings and Zoom and GoToMeeting. Because I, on a daily basis, when I'm not actually working in the building, working, at work, and I'm working from home, I'm at least in one video meeting a day, at least one. So I'm in multiple ones during the week, and I can't figure out still. I mean, we're in July, and I still don't
So
figure
here's
out
a tip. So if you, you use this computer. So if
Yeah.
you set it up higher, like set it up on some books or like a package of paper towels or
Mhm.
something, the camera's going to be closer to sort of your natural line of sight, or
Okay.
even a little bit higher is good. And then I try to move my screen, collapse my screen so that the videos are closer to the camera. So like when I'm meeting with a client, I shrink the video and put it all the way up right under my camera, so the distance between
Yeah.
like looking at them and looking at the camera isn't too
can't-
far.
I can't figure out where to put. I use 2 screens at home, and sometimes
That's right, you do.
sometimes the video image of everybody else and me is on the opposite computer screen than the camera is.
Oh,
So,
is there a way for you to change that?
well, yeah,
You should change that.
okay.
You probably seem pretty disengaged.
I probably do seem disengaged too. And I've conducted interviews too.
We're getting a delivery now. It's about to get loud in here. Okay, let's try this.
Anyway, you just derailed what I was saying.
Well, because there's a delivery person
Is it
outside right
is
now.
it
I think it's the
Target
Target
delivery
person,
person?
so maybe it's going to be quiet. But Everett is at the window, noticing it. Evie, come here.
Everett.
He's going to bark. Okay.
Let's go. Anyway, that was the good eye contact.
Mhm.
The next one. I feel competent, in control, and connected to others.
I said yes.
You said yes.
Yep.
Okay. I did not say yes to that.
Evie. Yeah, I know. Someone's here.
So, everybody in streaming land, this won't be on the.
Can we mute this?
No. Just leave it.
Turn your volume down.
And this, I'm going to show everybody, just get him out of here. Jenny will leave, and I will continue to stream and record. And I'll tell everybody a trick on how I see this section in the recording. I'm going to make a loud clapping noise. And on the recording, I will see a spike, a significant spike in the waves. And I'll know exactly where this section was that I'm going to cut out. So watch everybody. Like that. So in the recording, I I will see the spike, and I'll know exactly where the section was, and I'll cut it right out of the recording. I was giving everybody a tutorial on how to edit this out.
Oh, exciting.
When I do the
Fun
claps.
stuff.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Okay, streaming world.
I found a teenager.
That's what happens whenever it goes. I mean, sometimes if you guys listen to our podcast, you hear the dogs, every now and then, but
That's
sometimes
like the only time we make a cut.
Right. Sometimes it's just too much to leave in, like right then.
Uh-huh.
So.
Yeah, we could train Everett to not bark like that, but frankly, I like that he barks when someone comes to the house. Yeah.
It's fine.
I'm sure the delivery people don't like it, but anyways, so where were we? I feel competent in control and connected to others.
Why
In
don't
that
I read
moment,
that one
I did
again?
not. Okay.
Okay, so the next one is I feel competent, in control, and connected to others.
I wrote yes.
You did.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Is that professional?
Hmm.
In a professional
Okay, so
setting, with me, or everywhere, or what?
no, not for sure, not everywhere. With you, yes.
Mm-hmm.
With some friends, yes. At large school gatherings, no. For like kids.
Yeah.
Professionally, yes. Before I start a brand new class, no. As I'm preparing my like new online course development stuff, no. But I'm working on
So
it.
multiple different
Yeah, it's really
responses depending on
relationship
the area.
specific. Mm-hmm.
I just checked it off with my red pen for you, and I think professionally, in most settings professionally, I feel pretty confident.
So what are we on, like month 4 or 5 of lockdown and you working from home?
Mm-hmm.
So I get to hear you on a lot of work meetings. As like in between sessions, I try to give myself 10 minutes, and I use that to like go wash dishes or put a dog outside.
Right.
Or put Target groceries away. And so I walk through sort of your workspace often, and it sounds like you come across very competent.
Thanks.
And what were the other words? Respectful. No, connected.
No,
It
connected.
feels like you're
In control.
competent and in control.
Well, thanks.
You're welcome.
Okay, we have 2 more in this section. Then we can talk about what the results are
Okay.
and how we feel, and what did we learn from this exercise. Oh, that's what they call it, an exercise.
Okay.
We were looking for the term. Right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Next one, second to last one. I don't allow others to control or manipulate me.
I did not check that one. But so I
That's
should have.
interesting.
Nope. Yeah, I'm going to check that one. I think I just maybe
Yeah.
stopped doing this, actually.
I checked it as well.
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident with that one.
There are some outlier individuals, but I don't know that I would say that they control or manipulate me.
Okay.
So, okay.
The last
They
one,
try.
so we both checked off that one.
Mm-hmm.
The last one is I am responsible for getting my needs met in a respectful manner. I did not check that.
I wrote nope.
Nope.
So, okay, so trying to go back to what I was thinking, this was like at the end of as we were setting up, and I was doing this very last minute. So thinking about within our relationship, no, because I don't feel like I was being really respectful to you this morning. Right? My needs this morning were,
What happened this morning?
well, we had breakfast, which was lovely. We
It
ate
was
breakfast
awesome.
outside. But then we came inside, and I was getting ready, and you were setting up in here, and my needs were, let's try to get this done before Target and Instacart arrive,
Mhm.
and before we need to, sort of do all the other stuff we have to do today. But I didn't communicate that to you, and you were working on something else instead of setting up, and I feel like I got a little grumpy and rude. I was not respectful.
Oh, it's all good.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. No words, Jenny, no words.
So I didn't check that one off because
Me neither.
I feel like in that moment I wasn't doing it. I don't do it enough for me to say, yes, I do that all the time.
Yeah, I mean, again, this section I feel like was the section for me that I wished I could check more off. And I think that's probably a goal for me, but I didn't.
Okay.
So that's the end of the exercise, I guess is what they call it. What do we have for where you had your most answers, Jenny? What kind of communicator are you? What's your communication style?
I am an assertive within our relationship. I am an assertive communicator.
That's great.
Do you think that's accurate?
I think that's very accurate.
I think so too. Do I, tend to be more aggressive sometimes? Sure. Do I tend to be more passive aggressive sometimes? Sure. But I think in general, I'm assertive. Assertive sort of has this negative connotation, right?
Yeah. Why does it have to?
I don't read it as assertive. I think assertive can be really kind of helpful and healthy. kind of like that. Oh, well, we've talked about how we've gone to couples counseling before, and we've talked about.
We still have to do a myths about couples counseling.
It's on my list of
I know.
things. We talked about how we learned like to use declarative statements, and so we will still say that to each other
Yes,
sometimes when
yes.
maybe one of us is being passive aggressive or not direct. We'll
Make a
say
declarative
declarative statement, which is like I need or I want or I'm asking you to or will you please, something like that.
Right.
I think we should. That's really those declarative statements are really a form of assertive communication.
Mm-hmm.
So assertive communication is a good thing. It's different than like a dictatorship communication or something like that.
Right.
Okay. What about you? Why do you keep? It's very distracting.
Well,
You keep looking.
you're not really in the Instagram. I don't know where
That's
you
my
went.
goal.
When you came back from the dog thing, I think you sat farther back.
Oh.
There you go. That's better.
Am I
That's
here
much better.
now?
Say hi to Instagram.
I don't want to.
Say hi to Instagram.
Hi.
So, for us, our relationship, I had 2 in section D and 2 in section D.
Did you say 2 in section D and 2 in section D?
Yes.
Okay.
I meant to say section C.
Okay.
Anyway, passive aggressive 2 and assertive 2 for us.
I would agree with that.
You say that's accurate? I think it is.
Yeah, I think that you do tend to be, you tend to when it, I guess when it's difficult for you to express an emotion or something, or maybe you're trying to avoid conflict, you go to, or you don't want to start conflict, you go to this passive aggressive place, and it's not helpful. Like out of these 4 styles really, I would say passive aggressive is probably the least useful.
I agree.
Right.
So, I think, this makes sense. I think what I take away from this is that it's pretty accurate. So it's a pretty good exercise. So we're obviously going to share the link with everybody so you can try this out. But it makes sense because within our relationship and our family, I definitely feel more confident and in control and
You can be
open.
yourself.
I can be myself. But outside of us, I don't.
Did you tally up your marks for outside?
Yeah, I have 3 in section C. I actually have 3 in passive communication too, but maybe I don't have trouble making eye contact because I figured out a way to handle it. So maybe it's not active. So that's like really
I feel like you do. When I watch you in social situations, you are often looking off to the side and rubbing your head and taking off your hat and fidgeting.
Sure. Okay, so maybe it's true. But anyway,
Yeah.
I think I have 3 in the first section and 3 in the third section. So it's 3 in passive communication and then 3 in passive aggressive communication. But I think I feel that the passive aggressive style is more me. I think I relate to that more than the passive. So I would say outside of talking to you and the boys, I need to improve my communication style.
Well, so that's the next part of this, right? Like, so it's not just an exercise like, okay, there's your score, have a nice Saturday, or Monday, right? Because this will drop on a Monday.
On a Monday.
But for those of you listening right now, or on the playback, it's all just weird stuff for me.
It's very weird.
I don't like change.
The name of this podcast is Changing Perspectives.
I know. I'm changing my perspectives on all of this. So the second part of this is, you add it all up and figure out your primary communication style. And then there's a reflection piece, right? Where you're supposed to write, what did you learn from this exercise? So you just said that, right? You learned that in some of your relationships, passive-aggressive communication is where you sort of feel most at home. And that's an area that you would like to change. So then the next part was, what can you do to make progress in this area? I would say okay, so if we were using this in therapy, I would be all right, so what are the next steps? What are you going to do today and this week to do something different? What's one concrete step you can make?
Well, I think today is going to be an opportunity for me. We're going to be in a couple different social situations this weekend, and I think it's important for me to try to express my true opinions more, my true feelings, and at least feel more confident and comfortable doing that. Right.
So in a not passive aggressive way, in like an assertive way. So how will you do that, right? Like that's your goal, but so what are the steps to get there? Because I think with anything in life, right, whether we're talking about relationship stuff or personal stuff or professional stuff, it's not really enough to say like, okay, I'm gonna lose 20 pounds.
Right.
I'm gonna increase my performance at work by 10%.
Right.
Great, that's a great goal, and goals are really useful to have. How do you actually get there? What are you gonna do?
Right.
So what's something specific that you could do? I realize I'm putting you on the spot here because you're not asking me the same question, but you're married to a therapist, so sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. Most of the time that I benefit from that, so I appreciate that.
Can I have your insurance card?
So I don't know. I think it's maybe I'm thinking about like being in a conversation maybe about some topic that I know that I have a little bit of a different point of view than others. Trying to share in a respectful way my point of view. And
not to change other people's opinions, but just to share your own.
What I feel. And I know that, I can pretty much do that in a professional setting, especially when I'm on the phone with a family.
I've for sure heard you do that as I've walked through the kitchen. I've heard you disagree. Yeah, like the professional Josh is for sure, I think, an assertive communicator.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so.
But it's interesting that professional Josh is so different than personal Josh. And then like relationship, like husband to dad Josh is somewhere, I think, in the middle.
Yeah.
Do you feel the same way about me?
No.
Not that you really get to hear. You don't get to hear me
because teacher.
Right, because when I'm in therapy,
That's
everything's
different.
private.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess you have. Yes, because sometimes before you took up our kitchen, right? I would sometimes teach my classes in the kitchen.
I'll never forget, you were in grad school, and I had to come with you. I came with you once to something, and I saw you in action. You did so I can't remember this. I can't remember. We went to DU when we were there somewhere.
Was it when you were my client and I videotaped you in the?
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I had to do a live therapy session and videotape it on VHS because I'm that old.
That's how long ago you went to grad school.
And you were my client. You were the person I chose, and so we did like a full 45-minute therapy session.
Yeah, so that I remember that in that. So I have seen you in action, sort of. I'm sure you're so different now than you were then.
I hope I'm different,
but anyway, no, I have heard you as a teacher because you used to do your classes in the kitchen,
right? Before
we had this office, and. Yeah, no, you're definitely.
But you can't hear my students, but you could hear me.
Yeah.
Kind of like when I walk through the kitchen and hear you talking, but I don't hear. Everything is confidential.
Yeah, we both have HIPAA-related stuff in our worlds, and we never shared any of that stuff, obviously. But yeah, I think you're definitely an assertive communicator most of the time, and you don't change like I do. I mean, maybe that's why I was.
What about in social situations?
No, I'm different.
No, I mean for me.
Oh no, you're the same.
That's interesting.
I mean, you definitely, you feel more vulnerable and you're not as open, I don't think. But you're definitely way better than I am. I feel super vulnerable in social situations and often don't share who I really am.
By vulnerable, do you mean low self-esteem, low self-confidence, not?
Low self-confidence, like it's scary.
There was something worded here. Like, do you just not feel safe, maybe? Like it's not a safe space?
It's funny how I feel safer on a podcast that reaches thousands.
Well, but so if I'm public speaking, right? Like if I'm public speaking, I don't care if I'm public speaking to 10,000 strangers. But if there's people that actually know me, that are going to be in the crowd, that is really nerve-wracking for me.
Maybe the podcast is easy.
Right, like this is why this is hard for me, because you could see probably, right, like if someone likes it, I could click on it and see like, oh goodness, like that person was watching, right? Like it makes it more, there's a more personal connection. So for me, that's more vulnerable. So that statement that you made makes sense. It's not crazy.
It's interesting. Maybe that's why I was a pretty good actor when I was doing theater. I could change who I was.
Well, so what would it feel like for you if you were like more integrated fully? Like if you just got to be Josh, right? Because for me, so I do try to do this. I do try to be who I am and not change. I think that's different. Like if you don't know me and you see me at like a football game, which you're not gonna right now because COVID,
Right.
but I think I have a resting bitch face. Can I say that? I have a not nice face. We might need to cut that out. Can I say that on our podcast with our rating?
No,
Okay. If you see me at a football, can you just like beep over it?
I can be both.
Okay. I think I look not approachable.
Yeah.
And so you might think that I'm like not a nice person and I'm not talkative and I don't have a personality. That's when I feel vulnerable because I don't really know why. I don't know where I was going with this.
Well, I think that I wanted to clarify something. No, what you said made sense.
Oh no! What I was going to say was there was a period of time where I was Jenny personally. Like that is what people called me.
Oh, that's right.
Personally, like friends and you called me Jenny, and I like in school, I was Jenny in high school, and then in college I was not, and in grad school I was not.
Were you Jenny to teachers in high school?
No.
No, you weren't.
No. So there was this like, because we had to pick a French name in high school, like for your French class, and I didn't like any of them. So I was like, there's 7 Jens in my grade. I'm going to be Jenny because it's different, and I'll spell it different. And you stuck with me through high school.
Yeah.
Did our high schoolers just leave?
Did he leave?
I assume so. Bye. Have a good day. Yeah, I have a text. He might have been bringing in the Target. Anyways, so there was a period, so you had to pick a name. I picked Jenny, and then like my close high school friends called me Jenny. And then there was this period of time where like I was Jenny to some people and Jen to others, and it felt like they were 2 different people. Like the Jen was like the professional version of me, and Jenny was like the real version of me. So I did try hard to sort of integrate those, right? And I feel like I integrate that as a therapist too. Like I feel like I am who I am as a therapist. I am who I try to be who I am.
Yeah.
And I guess you can love me or hate me, but please love me and don't hate me. Because I'm vulnerable and insecure. But I try to be more integrated. Wouldn't that be nice for you to feel like you were?
It would be, yeah. Well, I want to say too, like it's not that I'm being somebody completely different. Like I think what it is in different situations, I augment or pull out a part of my personality, part of who I am, right? Like, we'll just say it. When there's a group of friends, some social situations I've known, I've met people as the coach, the sports guy, the dad coach. Like I met them as because of that.
Right.
And so I think that over the years, I just sort of augmented, like I just pulled that part of my identity out more in that situation, right? Or if it's kind of like in a work situation rather, you pull out, in that moment, you're like, for a while I was Josh, the EMS guy, that's who I was because I was working in EMS, or if I'm the health donation guy, like, But I think that's what it is. I think I just need to really not highlight that personality, that part of my identity, and just be myself.
So are you really kind of like meta when you're in social situations where you're like thinking about, like you're kind of like out of your body, like looking down, like thinking about like, what should I say now? No, that's not a part of me that they know.
A little bit, yeah.
That's really frustrating for you.
So frustrating.
Right? Like it must feel like you can just never be yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's sad.
I need to fix that.
I feel like I should send this to anybody we're going to see this weekend.
Some people already know.
Force Josh to be himself.
Some people already know, actually, because of the streaming. Anyway, well, I like that a lot, and it was helpful
That's
for me.
going to do it, but I still haven't memorized your closing.
No, we're not there yet.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
We can shout out Carrie. Hi, Carrie.
Oh, well, Carrie,
Yeah.
I owe you a message. I left it closed. I have to get back to you.
Okay.
Love you.
Yeah, so this is exciting streaming. You know which Carrie? That Carrie.
I can't see. Semester at Sea, Carrie?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I really enjoyed streaming. This is cool.
I don't know that I enjoyed it.
It's going to be interesting because, again, this episode that we just streamed and recorded won't come out for a week or so. But for those listening, we have a new episode dropping on Monday. It's Jenny took a couple BuzzFeed quizzes over
yeah,
the year. It was a lot of fun. But anyway, back to your communication style. I enjoyed this. It was helpful for me. I have a lot to uncover. Maybe I should go see somebody besides you.
Maybe we could just do like an episode every like 5th episode, like Josh's therapy. No, I will keep that in mind that you liked this, because like I said, I literally get 2 or 3 of these at least every other week, but I think I might even get them weekly. And sometimes they're all different topics and areas. I should actually go through the ones I've already saved, and I should actually let you go through the ones I've already saved, and you can see if you like any of them. Okay. So I'll keep that in mind. But I think activities, exercises, like this are good for couples to do together. What are you looking at?
Can you click share to IGTV on that? Next. We can cut this out, I guess.
Oh, well, did that just mean that it's like done?
It ended.
Okay.
The Instagram Live ended it.
Oh. So that must be...
No, the Facebook Live is still going.
Okay. So there must be a limit on Instagram. So we'll figure that out.
Carrie said she likes being semester at sea, Carrie.
You're like Sass Carrie, right?
Yeah.
SAS, semester at sea. Yeah.
Sass.
Sass Carrie.
I wouldn't.
You're not sassy at all.
Carrie
No.
as sassy.
All right, what was I saying? See,
Well,
so much distraction.
Instagram Live stream ended, but
So there must be a limit. Are we like at an hour? What are we at on this?
59.
Yeah, so that must be an hour limit.
On Instagram.
Okay, so we will do some research on that. So I will keep this in mind for other topics. I think we're trying to commit to 1 a week, at least, of these.
Yeah.
And just trying to sort of take it to the next level, because I noticed that I'm not listening to podcasts because I'm not driving in my car.
Yeah.
And so what am I doing? I'm watching videos. And so maybe this will be a better way, a different way for people to sort of consume some of the content that we're putting out there.
Right.
Also starting an email list, a newsletter list. So I'm committing to like a monthly newsletter of resources, and working on some like contests and like meaningful giveaways. Things that are sort of meaningful to people that are part of the Changing Perspectives community. And then was there anything else? I think that was all.
I think that was it.
That was it.
Yeah. So more to come from Jenny in Changing Perspectives. The newsletter is exciting.
But if you want to sign up for it, go to my website.
Yes.
www.jennybrennan.com. JennyBrennan.com. And a pop-up will pop up, should pop up. And if it doesn't, there is a static link right at the top that'll say sign up for Jenny's newsletter.
You know that you don't have to say the W's anymore, right?
I do, because I'm so old that I went to graduate school with VHS tapes.
That's true. www. Okay, everybody. Is there anything else on communication style, or any other updates from everybody?
Nope.
For those of you that consume this episode also via live video stream, we hope you enjoyed it. And we're going to bring content to you more often in that manner. So
Maybe. We'll see how this went.
Okay. All right, everybody. That is going to do it for today.
Thank you
so much for listening. For today's show notes links, you can check out betweensessions.com. Identifying your communication style. It's a great exercise / assessment quiz to do for yourself in a relationship or just in general. And again, that link will be in the show notes. Please follow us on Facebook, everybody, at Changing Perspectives Podcast, and on Instagram at Changing Perspectives Blog. You can send us an email to changingpodcast@gmail.com. You can also visit our website by going to changingperspectivesblog.com. And while you're there, don't forget to visit the shop to check out all of that great Changing Perspectives merchandise. Go ahead and subscribe to the show so you'll never miss an episode, and we will see you next time. Say bye, Jenny.
Bye, Jenny.
Okay, that is the end of the podcast recording. We're still on Facebook Live.
Can we be not on Facebook Live? Bye.
Semester at Sea, Carrie just signed up for the newsletter. So
Aw, thanks, Semester at Sea, Carrie. Yeah. I'm going to put you in there as Sass Carrie. Or I'll just call you Semester at Sea, Carrie in there. All right, why are we still on Facebook?
I don't know.
Bye, Facebook.
Bye, everybody. Thank you for joining us.
Don't you have to shut it off on the actual camera? Don't you have to shut it off on the camera?
That's true, I do. I can shut it off here, couldn't I?
I don't think so.
Maybe not. Okay.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.